Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Smoke Sammy, and today we will be judging people on the AITA subreddit. First story. Am I the villain because I LMAO'd when my mom told me her Roomba fell into the pool? I'm on the phone with her as she's in her winter residence in Florida, and she's telling me that she was cleaning her house and left the screen door open. And I'm like, where are you going with this? Because my mom kind of rambles a bit with stories that goes nowhere. And then she says that the Roomba was missing and she found it at the bottom of the pool. That completely caught me off guard, and I'm howling with laughter, and my mom was like, it's not funny, that's a $400 machine, and somehow that made it even funnier. And she's not making it easy for me because she's describing that apparently it didn't die right away, and for a minute the little brush things were still going around like it was trying to dog paddle its way out of there. So my mom was angry that the Roomba wasn't built with some sort of safety device in case it falls into water, like flotation bags are supposed to pop out of the thing, like chitty chitty bang bang or something. And at this point, I'm in literal tears from laughing so hard. So mom's angry, Roomba is dead, and I'm probably not invited to Easter dinner. I don't know, I think it's fine. It is funny. It's a lot of money, but like at the end of the day, it's still funny. I think it's funny. Oh well, not the villain. Am I the villain for saying you should have thought about that before you procreated? My ex and I have a 13-year-old daughter, Nicole. Nicole has several medical conditions that require a lot of attention. She will need some sort of in-home assistance for the rest of her life. While we have an aide to help a couple of days a week, it is still a challenge. The outcome of Nicole's condition became clear when she was 2. At that point, my ex and I agreed we wouldn't have more kids because it wouldn't be fair to anyone. There'd be no way we can focus attention on 2 kids. Someone would lose out in this situation. We divorced when Nicole was 5. We originally had 50-50 custody. 3 years later, my ex remarried. His new wife, Callie, is nice. My ex said that she didn't understand the severity of Nicole's condition. I figured there was a learning curve. Eventually, Callie basically said she wanted to be hands-off, which I respected, though I wondered how it would work, considering Nicole lives with them half the time. Last year, my ex and Callie had a baby. I was a little surprised given my ex was always firm on not having more kids, but I figured it wasn't any of my business. He did begin to complain that it was a lot of work juggling Nicole and the baby. I sympathized, but really didn't know what else to say. Well, what else can you say? Recently, the venting got worse. He said Callie yelled at him for taking Nicole to her physical therapy appointment instead of helping her with the baby. Is she just supposed to not go to physical therapy? He brought up potentially having Nicole stay with me more. I wasn't entirely shocked, but it pissed me off. I said Nicole was his daughter. He can't just abandon that responsibility. He asked what he was supposed to do about the baby. I said, maybe you should have thought of that before you procreated. I mean, really, we discussed this 10 years ago as to why it'd be hard to juggle 2 kids. Why did you think having another would be a good idea? He got quiet and said Callie wanted a baby. I said that isn't enough of a reason, and maybe she should have thought harder before bringing more life into the world. Maybe he should have thought harder before bringing more life into this world. The conversation ended with me saying I'd call my lawyer and we could arrange for him to have less custody, as I'd rather my daughter be properly cared for than viewed as a burden. Callie called me that very night very upset that I had made my ex cry and that I said her baby shouldn't exist. I said that's not what I said completely. More that they didn't think it through. She called me a jerk. I think Callie's a jerk. OP just says Callie's nice and then proceeds to say a bunch of things that make me think Callie maybe isn't so nice. Like the fact that she just doesn't want anything to do with Nicole at all. I just feel like if you're dating somebody who is a parent, like you are also accepting that their kid will, essentially become part of your family now as well. And it just feels like Callie wanted her own baby and wanted to get rid of Nicole, so that's what's happening now, and it just doesn't sit right with me, and I don't think OP is the villain at all in this situation. Am I the villain for telling another mother our children aren't close anymore due to intelligence levels? My daughter, let's call her Sophie, used to be best friends with Kat. They used to be friends in elementary school, but ever since middle school, they started to grow apart. This school split the kids in advanced and normal for math and science. All other classes are still together. My daughter got placed in the advanced and Kat got placed in normal. No big deal, they still see each other in school. They were still close friends until group projects. There have been multiple group projects and kids get to pick their partners. Kat and Sophie usually work together, but that is when issues started happening. Sophie would get really frustrated that the work Kat did wasn't correct. I told her to just turn it in without fixing it, and she got a bad grade on that assignment. After that, Sophie went through a period of time fixing stuff. After a while, I told her to stop doing a group project with her. So she stopped doing group projects together and the friendship blew up. Why not just... Okay, so far it just seems like instead of... Which one? Okay. Instead of Sophie just saying, hey, Kat, this was wrong, and then them kind of figuring out together or trying to explain it to Kat, she would just angrily fix things, and then that would just start resentment. I don't know why OP was saying, oh, don't even fix it, just turn it in. Obviously, that's not going to go well. I don't think the answer is just to stop doing group projects. Just like talk to each other in the group. Like that's why group projects are a thing. I mean, I hate group projects too, and I never like them. But isn't the point of them like to learn how to work with other people and communicate? So they aren't friends anymore. It's Sophie's birthday and invites were sent out. Kat wasn't on the invite list my daughter made. I got a call from her mom asking why she wasn't invited. I informed her they aren't really friends anymore. She said invite her anyways since it's just a little spat. I told her the people invited were the people my daughter wanted at the event. Okay, that's fair. I also want to say, like, I know it's not Sophie's responsibility to teach Kat, but I just think OP was encouraging the wrong way to go about this issue. Like, if she doesn't want to work with Kat on group projects anymore, that's totally up to Sophie. But, like, I don't know. I feel like just OP could have given better advice. This went on for a while and came to why they weren't friends anymore, and I said it was due to both girls' intelligence levels and tried explaining the group project issue. She got pissed, accusing me I am calling her kid dumb. Never said that. She called me a jerk. Edit, I didn't tell her they weren't probably friends anymore. She kept asking why. That's the reason I brought up the issue of why they aren't friends anymore. I wasn't going to lie. Also, she should already know why that friendship blew up. The kids were arguing about it constantly for a while. But that's not like why it got bad though, because they're different intelligence levels, whatever the fuck that means. Like, it's because they weren't communicating properly in a group project and then it didn't go well. And I can also see why, like, even though they got into an argument, why Kat may still think, oh, maybe we're still friends. Because it's not like friends get into one argument and then they're both like, yeah, no, we're not friends anymore. Like, that's usually, they should be working things out because they're friends, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I think OP's in the wrong here. Am I the villain for telling my soon-to-be mother-in-law that I'm marrying her son and not her, just after uninviting her to our wedding? I love wedding drama. I met my fiance during college and we have a great relationship. Last year we got engaged and we're planning the wedding for this fall. While he has an awesome dad and really sweet sisters, his mother is kind of a sore spot for him. She is separated from his dad, and from what I've heard and witnessed, the family don't get along much with her. If you met her, you would understand why. She's super judgmental and rude and barely has a nice word to say about her own kids, let alone me. Unfortunately, my fiance, being her only son and youngest child, is her blatant favorite. She really wants him to be mommy's boy, but he's not that way at all and does a great job of handling her and keeping his distance, which honestly he prefers. Upon news of our engagement, she was super excited, very uncharacteristically, and then we all realized that she basically wanted to frame the whole day around her. Great. Think everyone should be praising me for birthing this boy. He couldn't even get married without me. Oh my God. From there, the craziness really ramped up. She was coming along with him to tux fittings, trying to plan out the music, even our first dance, and getting angry at me for daring to choose a dress she didn't like. I don't know if I'm just like impatient or have low tolerance, but like the second somebody is starting to get mad at me because I want to wear a dress that maybe they don't like you're uninvited. That's it. Bye. The rest of his family and I were actually beginning to toy with the idea of uninviting her based on this behavior. Great. And as wrong as it kind of innately feels, this is a pretty exceptional case, and honestly, her actions were starting to make us dread our own wedding. I don't think there's anything wrong about that. I think you should uninvite her. I mean, it's in the title that she is uninvited, so good job. A further incident a few days later where she told my son she wanted to walk me down the aisle so she could have a moment with her son at the altar made me, my husband, and my future in-laws snap. What the why? What? We very recently arranged for her to come over to our home, where myself and my husband sat her down in the peace and quiet and gently explained to her that we no longer wanted her to attend the wedding. Man, based on how she's been behaving, I would be so afraid to do that. I know earlier I was like, oh, you say that and bye, you're uninvited. But like actually sitting down and being like, hey, you're uninvited to like a bomb, that sounds so stressful. She got really angry and immediately flew off the handle at me and not her son, as though I was the one who had influenced the rest of the family to uninvite her. My frustration at her boiled over, and without shouting, I stood up and told her that I wanted her to stop yelling and that she had no right to speak to me as she was. When I realized she was about to blow up again, I cut her off with, in case you don't know, I'm the one marrying your son, not you. She didn't say anything else, just snatched up her bag and left. She hasn't spoken to me since, but she's trying to get my son to change his mind. Believe me when I say he will not. She wants an apology from me, and while my husband and the rest of the family don't think I did wrong, I kind of wonder if my comment was unnecessary and whether it would have been better to stay the calm and collected party. I'm just so done with her, and I wanted to let her know exactly how I felt. I mean, I feel like that comment is not even that bad, like at all. And if anything, it just got her to leave. So I think, was it necessary? I don't know, but I don't think it was bad at all. I don't think it was overstepping. I don't think there was anything wrong. I don't know how many times I can say the same phrase, rephrasing it, but yeah, definitely not the villain. She sounds horrible, and there's a reason why the whole family was in agreement with this in the first place. I don't see why this is actually a post on here. Not the villain. Alrighty. Last story. Am I the villain for going on my phone for an emergency at my best friend's wedding? I don't even know what to think right now. My best friend since childhood got married last weekend. She had an unplugged wedding. An unplugged wedding is where you don't go on your phone at all. I totally respect that and might even do it for my future wedding. The entire morning of her wedding was beautiful and the ceremony was unforgettable. When the reception began, my sister called me. I didn't answer but was confused why she was calling me because I told my family to not contact me since it was no phones. She blew my phone up, sending me around 70 calls, and got to the point where I had to answer. My best friend is usually understanding, so I thought she would be okay with this. My sister told me my mom was in an accident. She's okay, by the way, only a concussion. Okay. Someone saw me on my phone and told my best friend. What a snitch. I explained the situation to her and she told me that wasn't an excuse and I could have waited until after the wedding. I left immediately, not only because of her stupidity, but because I also had to go to the hospital. She texted me and cussed me out, telling me that it wasn't that hard to not be my phone. A few of our friends and her husband also called me names. My family is saying I'm not the a-hole, but I can't help but feel bad. I also don't think it's worth losing a lifelong friendship over. She was like a sister to me. Also, for context, I was not a bridesmaid. She didn't have any bridesmaids. What a bitch. Sorry. I don't mind the rule. I think that's a great rule too, but there's obviously exceptions for emergencies. If a family member is in an emergency, then that is an exception right there. I don't know how to explain that to somebody when they clearly don't understand something so like obvious. There's a couple of edits. Let's go through the edits. Quick edit, just to clear a few things up, because if I see one more comment saying I should have went somewhere more secret, I might lose it. I went to the parking lot. He actually left the wedding to go do this. I tried the bathroom, but a few people were in there. The parking lot was empty. Also, this is not the first time my best friend has been shitty. There have been other situations where she was the a-hole, like when I couldn't hang out because my sister was having a baby and wanted me there. She isn't very considerate when it comes to medical issues, if you can tell. Or her honeymoon ends on Sunday, so I'll message her then. I'll definitely be removing the best part in best friend from now on. Yeah, she doesn't sound very understanding. There's a part earlier in the post where OP says that this friend is understanding, and I fail to see that. Everything that they have said so far about their friend just shows me that they are not compassionate or understanding. Edit 2, final update. So I messaged her yesterday asking if we could talk. She said she doesn't want to meet in person because I might just up and leave if another one of my family members gets hurt. I think you should also be removing the friend part from the best friend, OP. I asked if we could talk on the phone, and she said yes. I basically told her the entire story and my point of view. She told me I was still the a-hole and I wouldn't be invited to future events. She told me that the reason she was so upset is because I stole her attention and lied on her day. She acted like I planned this and planned for my mom to go into an accident to steal her shine. I basically told her that her point of view is fucked up and self-centered. It is. It is very fucked up and self-centered. This incident has made me realize how bad of a friend she actually is. I told her not to contact me and that we weren't friends anymore. I also asked her who tattled on me when I was on the phone, and it was her mom. Her mom has always been the mom that doesn't like you. She always treated me bad, so I'm not shocked, LMAO. She tried changing her number and reaching out to me this morning, but I told her to stop trying to contact me or I'll get the police involved. I also changed my number so none of her family and friends can contact me. Okay, good, good. This ended the way it needed to. And I'm flabbergasted it even happened in the first place. How can you be so selfish? OP did everything right, pretty much. It's not their fault that there was an emergency, and when they went on their phone, despite not being able to, they left the venue and went outside where nobody would see. And Alrighty, well, that's all for today. If you like this content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye!